Hello everyone, my name is Laurie. Welcome to DR Sports Boxing, DR Sports Boxing Weekly Show. And on the panel today, to my far left, we've got Shane in the house. Let's get
What's up, man?
Woo! To my immediate left, we've got Nick Francis, aka the voice of reason. And to my immediate right, we've got James Toon in the house. What are you saying, bro?
Mate, good to be here, mate. Good to be
Notice
here.
I never gave you the
simp card today, yeah. I've escaped.
It doesn't count if you didn't bring it up straight after. Let it sit for a while.
Well, I've got to say that we've had a very good day today. We attended the media day for the big fight on Friday taking place at York Hall. Frazer Clarke topping the bill. He's taking on Marius from Poland. Frazer Clarke's first fight in the ring for a while now. We all know about the debacle with him and the purse bids and the fight that fell through with Fabio Wardley. So Frazer's inching to get in there. We spoke to him at length. He can't wait to go, and we can't wait to watch him. Let's start with James, because you interviewed Frazer as well, didn't you?
Yeah, man. He looked zoned in. He looked locked and loaded, man.
Ready,
when
man.
I saw when Vac was in the ring doing his workout, he was just staring him down from the apron. And actually, it's funny. Me and Nick were doing a little thing outside where we were talking and kind of commentating on it. And I think Nick said something about like, "Oh, we'll have to see if Frazer Clarke can deal with this litmus test on the day." And then Frazer Clarke comes storming over.
You think it's a litmus test?
Grabs the. Well, that's what we were kind of talking. I forgot the exact word, but he grabs the mic out of Nick's hand. He's like, "You're damn right. I'm gonna deal with it." Puts the mic back,
I was just saying, like it was all good. Like he was calm in it. It wasn't anything disrespectful, but I was just saying, like, Marius Vac is somebody who has a good amount of experience, and it's good for Frazer Clarke to be in there. It's not necessarily a technical test from ability, but it's good for him to go in there with someone who's this. Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, he's fought Klitschko, Povetkin, Dylan White. He's fought,
exactly. So that's what I was saying. I was like, we've got.
And he doesn't get knocked out, does he?
He got knocked out by Bacoli, though. He got knocked out by Bacoli.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
And he got stopped by Povetkin on facial damage. I don't know if you guys watched that fight. Like he got one of the greatest chins I've ever seen in heavyweight boxing. He got absolutely pummeled.
He does look very, very tough. Haven't seen him in real life. He is massive.
Huge.
And so when I was just saying that about Frazer Clarke come over my shoulder, and he was just like, he was like, I'm ready. He was like, don't worry about that, mate. I'm ready. Like you'll hear it on when the vlogs go out and stuff. But I think Frazer Clarke, I know he's the headline partly because of other situations happening around the card, but I think he deserves some headline shows after. I saw an interview of him previously where he was saying, people were getting at him on social media. You know how social media is because of the fight falling through, and he was saying, "Listen, I'm an innocent party. There's nothing to do with me."
I feel sorry for him.
Yeah, so I think he really deserves to be the face of certain cards.
Yeah, you could see the pain and the way he spoke. He was quite emotive about it. He said, "Listen, man, I went through a bad time." He said, I think he was telling us a story for the first 10 days or so. He was really depressed, and he said he actually went to Tesco's one night, get some food. And he came across some guy that was homeless and was on the verge of committing suicide. And he said that once he'd spoken to the guy, calmed him down, he went home and he realised, look, there are people out there that are in way worse situations than myself. And that's what kind of pulled him together. So,
I have to say he was very, very open about his emotions and how he feels about certain things and stuff like that. He's much more transparent than I realised than most people are.
What I was going to say, like, just bringing it back to the fight, was, like, when you think about Frazer Clarke, especially, even though I know it's not what he wanted, you almost think after the saga his name's actually increased. If you think about it, like sometimes bad publicity sells more than good publicity, and if he didn't have that whole situation with Eddie Hearn and Ben Shalom and that whatever, I'm not even going to talk about that. If he didn't have that situation,
we're talking about the purse bids, by the way. They didn't submit the purse bid for the Fabio Wardley fight, so the fight automatically got cancelled. And Ben Shalom and BOXXER took a lot of stick, but so did
Eddie Hearn
Frazer Clarke.
And Frazer Clarke.
Which is unfair on the fighter, innit? I mean,
but,
let's be honest.
Yeah, I was just saying, if he didn't have that situation, he can now go to the... I mean, if he puts in a good performance against Wack and stops Wack, I mean, if I was Frazer Clarke, I'd be like, I stopped the dude that went the distance with your mentor, because Dylan White is Fabio.
He actually had some moments against Dylan. He hurt Dylan a couple of times.
So if he stops him, he goes out and puts a statement, and I think off the back of this, he's going to be in some
can he
big
stop
fights.
him? James?
Yeah, I think he will, man. Look, like you said, Vac is a seasoned veteran, but once you take that many a beating, once you get old, boxing and sport in general is a young man's game. and I just feel like he's been in there too many times. I think Frazer Clarke is too hungry, too turned on, too athletic for him. He looked very, very explosive in there.
He did look good, actually,
Frazer. He looked very, very good.
I mean, we didn't see him in his top off, but you could tell by his face looks lean and
I do see him stopping it. I think he's really looking for a statement out there. And I don't know if it will be a TKO, if it will be a doctor stoppage or what, but I don't see this fight going the distance. I think he will end it.
Nick, does Fraser hit that hard though? I mean, obviously he's a decent puncher.
I don't think
Vac, as you said, has got a very good chin.
I think it goes to points, partly because of how good Vac's chin is, but partly because Fraser needs rounds.
How many rounds is it?
10.
But I don't think Fraser's looking to do rounds. Yeah, 10
rounds.
I don't think he's looking to do rounds.
I don't think he is either, but I think, like I say, just for my personal opinion, I think that he needs rounds at the moment. Vac's a good opponent to get rounds against. He will. Go ahead.
But I heard Marius Vac say in the media workout today when he was interviewed, he said that it was scheduled to be an 8-rounder. It's been moved to 10, and he said that the fact that it's been moved to 10 benefits him, which I can see where he's coming from. Because he's thinking if I can absorb the early storm,
I can rally late.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, I think for the experience, I just don't want to see if Fraser goes and bangs him out, I'll be more than happy with that. But I don't want to see him force putting on a show and come unstuck, which we've seen in the past.
What he's got to understand, and I wish I was there, I would have just took him to the side and said, yo.
Let me ask you a question.
What he's got to understand is, I don't think he's going to get a first round stoppage or second round stoppage. Wack isn't that type of dude, as you know. You got to break him down slowly. So if he paces himself right, he should be able to get the stoppage, like you said. But if he goes out there and just tries to throw balls to the wall and see what he can get, I do feel like I'm not going to say he will lose, because he definitely won't, but I feel like he might have a slight issue down the stretch.
Yeah.
Especially in terms of, like, he's not normally gone the distance. This will probably be the most tested opponent, because journeymen know how to survive, and he knows how to survive.
Okay, prediction time. I'm going to go around the table very quickly. James, so you predicting a stoppage, yeah?
Yeah, I think it'll be a stoppage around 7th round.
7th round. Shane?
Probably corner throwing in the towel, retirement, maybe around 9 or 8. I think that's what happened when Wack also fought Gerald Miller as well. I just remembered. But
for everyone.
Yeah, around 10 or 9.
Okay. Nick?
I'll still go Clarke on points.
Yeah, I'm going Clarke on points. I think Vac is hella tough. I do think Fraser will beat him up. He might even look like he's on the verge of stopping him, but somehow Vac will rally. He's a very tough guy, very experienced guy, and I think he may go 10 rounds, but he'll get a bit of a shellacking, because I think Fraser wants to do a number on him. Right, okay, moving on then to a fight that I think personally will be the fight of the night, and that is Viddal Riley. Yes, Viddal Riley I'm talking about. You may have heard of him on social media. He's a good fighter, cruiserweight prospect, 8-0. He's taking on Anis Taj. They fought before, a few months back. I was at that fight, actually, and it was a very good fight. Bit of needle going into it, because Anis Taj is that type of guy, likes to be in your face, tell you that he's going to knock you out. He's a decent puncher. He comes to bring it. He lives in Watford, but he's got Scottish. I think his mum's Scottish, hence his nickname Braveheart, and he wears the Scottish colours in the ring. We spoke to both of them today. They're both very up for this fight. It's going to be a great fight. Viddal's saying, listen, man, it's going to be the same as before. I got his number. Once I start landing my shots, it'll be all over. We spoke to Anis Taj. He's saying, listen, man, I thought I hurt. This is him saying this now. I thought I hurt Viddal Riley in the first fight. If I can do it then, I can do it again. And I'm confident I can get the knockout victory. Let's start with Nick. You were there today.
Yeah.
You saw both fighters. What do you think?
I think, I'm leaning towards Riley. He looked so calm today. And like you said, Taj likes to get in people's face and do the riling. And today it was Taj that got riled when they were doing the face-off. You weren't there, so I'll just tell you, Riley said, I've got a present for you, and pulled out his boot from his last fight with Taj's blood on it.
Yeah, that's a funny moment.
Yeah, that's funny.
Here you go. Here it is. And Taj took it and threw it out the ring.
You had to get that on camera?
We had to, me and James had to dodge it. I think James took it and put it on eBay.
Mate, are you kidding me? I'll be keeping that. He's going to be world champion.
But he was pretty unhappy. He was pretty unhappy. He didn't kick off or anything because he was very, very unhappy.
They did a face-off as well before the fight. You got to watch that. It was quite interesting to see the energy of the two fighters. Viddal, quite relaxed. He's quite a laid-back guy, but Anis was pushing.
Exactly. And I just think
I'm coming.
And I think Riley being able to take Viddal Riley being able to wind Taj up and get him out of it, because he is quite an emotive fighter, and I think that may go against him, as we see people's frustration do often.
Before we go to Shane, James, you were there. Me and you interviewed both of them.
Yeah, did.
What did you take away from that?
Big difference. Viddal Riley, I mean, look, again, another guy.
One of your favourite fighters.
One of my favourite fighters, man. I got a lot of love for him out of the ring and in the ring, and I think he is on his way to becoming a future world champion, mate. Yeah, I think he's a great boxer, and like you said, he's so cool, composed. But he did get a little bit, I don't know if I want to say aggravated, but you were saying it was quite a controversial, like people were widely speaking about it.
I was being a little bit mischievous.
Yeah, and he instantly snapped back. He was like, absolutely no controversy. The only thing, he landed a couple of shots in the second round, but then the third round I was piecing him up anyway. And they didn't want the fight. It was, Taj just kept going on and on and on and on about how they want the rematch till they eventually...
Yeah, because Taj was intimating that when the rematch was put to Viddal Riley's team, he was basically saying
Ben Shalom said the same thing. Ben Shalom said the same thing. He said eventually their team tapped out and decided to give the fight. But I think that this fight is going only one way, and that is that Taj is getting taken to the highway of pain.
What a surprise that you just...
No, it's... I like him. Look, he gave us his time as well. He seemed like a kind guy.
No, they're both nice guys.
But Viddal Riley, there's just levels to this game. The same way in the first fight, man. He's too slick. He's too quick. He sets traps.
No, Viddal Riley's a good boxer. I mean, as an amateur, he represented.
I think he is, and he's had a lot of problem in his career. Recently, he got. I mean, the story of how he got taken into the Mayweather gym was quite crazy. He was there for this KSI Logan Paul fight, and then they gave him like the hardest guy in the gym to spar because he's like, yeah, I'm a boxer, and he absolutely pieced him up. So they took him over to the Mayweather gym, but he said he never felt really natural there. He couldn't get many fights. So recently, he's come back and he's got his dad in his corner now, and he said that's been a huge help for him pushing forward in his career. And he wants activity. He's been unfortunate with injuries, and I think he'll get quite a few, and I think he'll start
Shane,
with a big
win. What's your thoughts on the fight?
I think it's, to be honest, I actually think
Viddal's from around your neck of the woods, isn't it?
I don't even know.
He's from Tottenham.
Is he?
Yeah.
I've never even known
Supports
that.
him as well.
I never even seen this guy once.
I don't rate
life.
that,
but just to say, in my personal opinion, I do think the fight's going to be easier than the first one.
You do? Okay.
Yeah,
no,
not even because he's from Tottenham.
The first fight wasn't easy. Now, what it was...
I'm saying it is going to be easier.
Oh, it is going to be easier. Because I was at that first fight.
No, I'm saying it's going to be easier. I think what exactly happened in that first fight, I felt like, in my opinion, I thought Viddal Riley took it lightly. I personally feel like that. And I felt like once, especially after the first round, it was almost cruising and he got into a rhythm. And sometimes, especially with someone who's more experienced than you, can almost let your guard slip. Especially in the pro ranks.
But Anis Taj did appear to buzz him in that second round. I'm not saying he was seriously hurt.
That's my point.
But he definitely felt the power.
Was that because of a lack of respect and concentration from Viddal? I feel like because he got hit, sometimes you just need to get woken up. Because what happened after he got hurt? What happened after that?
He had a very good third.
That's what I'm saying. So exactly, now he's focused and he knows what his opponent's going to bring. He's going to piece him up, trust me. And that's not because he's from Tottenham. I didn't even know that.
Okay, well, predictions start off with me. Listen. I think it's going to be competitive again. I really do. I think it's going to go longer than the first fight, which got stopped after 4 rounds in Viddal's favour. And listen, I think the decision to stop the fight was correct. I think where the so-called controversy is that Taj wanted to go on, and he felt that he'd come off the back of a decent round, so he was still very much in the fight. But if the referee's got a decision to make and the doctor, then they've got a decision to make. Listen, at the end of the day, he lives to fight another day.
Facts.
And here we are, double payday for both fighters. Looking forward to this fight. I think it's going to be the fight of the night. Got to go with the other guy. Well, these guys here, I think, well, certainly Shane. I think Viddal is infinitely more skilled, more talented. And I think over the distance of the fight, that will show. And I think it will be a comprehensive points win for Viddal Riley, or maybe late stoppage again. Nick?
Yeah, I think late stoppage as well, especially... Riley's so tall and rangy, and Taj's style, his hands down by his sides and trying to rely on quick hand speed, and I just think
he did look sharp on the pad toe today, though, didn't he?
You didn't rate his was it left right uppercut?
The right hand, I felt like his left hand had a lot more power than his right hand, noticeably.
But he does carry power.
Yeah, I think the left hand, it carries a lot of power. From even just looking at the pads, you could see good lead left hook. But from hands by his side, up high, lead left hook, shorter fighter. Yeah, I just don't.
But he doesn't really fight like that, to be honest. I think that was just a bit of show.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, in terms of his sharpness,
Yeah, no, he looks
speed.
He looks sharp.
Look
I think it'll be a competitive fight, but I do think Riley late stoppage.
Okay then. Right, that's that one. Also on the undercard, Caroline Dubois. She's looked sensational so far. She's one of those female boxers that is showing power and getting girls out of there, which is unusual for women's boxing. And she's on a hot streak. A lot of people are talking about her. She's predicted to be a future world champion, which I definitely think she will. Because let's face it, the women's game, there is a paucity of talent at the very top. But she's definitely one of the shining lights. We spoke to her. She looks in good shape, very confident. She can't wait. She's up against a decent opponent. Was it Yanina Lescano from Argentina?
Who herself has had some big fights. She came off a dubious decision loss to Estelle Mosley in an IBO championship match. So she's no slouch. I'm telling you, it's a big success for Caroline Dubois.
It's a step up.
You know whose Caroline Dubois style reminds me of? A bit like Alicia Baumgardner, in the sense that very, very operate everything behind the jab. And
she likes to go to the body as well, doesn't she, Caroline?
Yeah, but when you spoke about the fact that they look to stop opponents, that's Alicia Baumgardner, you know. They're going to try and land as much power punches as possible, but everything behind the jab. And why I like her is because her actual foundations is really, really solid. I was saying this to you guys off camera. Her foundations is better than her brother. You guys are laughing. I'm dead serious.
No, I agree.
Her jab, her overall head movement. You already know what I think about Dubois already. I genuinely feel...
That's how I make it.
I'm not even going to go down that road, but like her overall fundamentals, in my opinion, I'm not saying she will beat her brother, but when you break down
we know
aspect of boxing technique,
she is very good.
It's funny you said that. She said in this camp she's exclusively sparred men, and she said that there's not a woman on the planet that's going to be able to hurt her the way that she's been hurt in sparring. Which
I think she's a definite future world champion.
I'll bet money on that.
Her opponent looks competent, but I must admit, when you see her opponent today in the ring, I know it's only a workout, but if you compare its levels, man, and Caroline looks more dynamic, more stronger, just faster. She just looks a better athlete.
Yeah, man, definitely.
And I think that will translate to the fight. And I'm kind of thinking that Caroline will get her out there again, man. Nick, what are you saying?
Yeah, I think so as well. I think it just has to be conscious of, again, spoke to Ben Shalom and Caroline today and previous interviews as well, and they've mentioned that they want Katie Taylor next, start getting prepped for world titles. I know Katie Taylor doesn't have the titles at the moment, but start getting prepped for world title fights. And so she just has to make sure she's not looking past this opponent and take this really, really seriously and treat every fight like a world title fight until you get that world title shot. She will no doubt be a world champion at some point in the future. And with Katie Taylor on the slide, I think, who knows if Katie Taylor even wants that fight. I don't know if she
could be the next British star, without a doubt.
She could. 100%. I mean, it's a massive fast track for her 7th, 8th fight to be talking about Katie Taylor's, to be talking about world championships.
I don't think that would be next, though.
But there's not much further. On that path.
But there's not much further to go after this. There's not much in between this level and that world championship level. So there is only a couple of fights between it.
Who's that girl that Alicia Baumgardner knocked out to win the world title? Terry Harper. She moved up. So I'd love to see Caroline Dubois fight Terry Harper. That'd be a good fight.
Yeah. So that's Caroline Dubois. We also spoke today, Aaron McKenna from Ireland, Dublin. He'll be fighting a guy called Lima, who's unbeaten. Big puncher, apparently. Spoke to Aaron McKenna, seems nice and relaxed, but you can see he's got that intensity about him. He's come here to do a number, he said, on this guy. He wants it. He wants to win this fight, and then he wants to take on Leon Williams. He's got eyes on winning a world title in a couple of years, so obviously he needs this win this Friday. What did you think of Aaron McKenna?
Well, yeah, I was actually, when I was looking at the face-off between the two, I was actually thinking, you know what, I think this could be the upset, or this could be the one upset tonight. Just off vibes, Lima, I think he's a bit of a knockout artist. 8 knockouts in 10 fights, 10-0. The guy's a killer. When you spoke to Aaron McKenna, or when we spoke to him, he turned to me. He's like, "What do you mean? I don't rate this guy's power at all. He's been fighting bums. He's not fighting someone on my level," which is an interesting perspective. But he was confident. When he spoke to us, he seemed cool. He seemed calm. But I definitely wouldn't count out Lima. And if there was one fight I think could be the upset. I just think that Lima could not.
I absolutely agree, bro.
He's got good power,
Before you say anything, I swear, James took everything I said word for word. I swear I said everything he just said word for word off camera, and he's copied.
That is absolute waffle, mate. Why would I take word?
Is that not what I said?
He's basically saying that you're plagiarising his work.
Is that not what I said?
I'm not plagiarising my work.
I'll be honest.
You weren't there.
Why would I plagiarise your words? When did you say anything about him talking to me and saying that he's not on his level? I used my own interviews.
I said as well that if there's going to be one
put these two on the
you got it from me.
No, behave yourself.
You got it from me when we were stood next to each other. I said
parliamentary procedure.
No.
Order. No.
I'll rebuttal. This guy's waffling my name. We looked at them. And I was stood next to Nick, and I said, I think this could be the upside. And he said, yes, I agree with you.
Nick Francis, the voice of reason. Listen, you can. It's no problem.
No, it's fine. It's fine. We actually agree. But I think that this could be the sleeper fight. I think this is the fight because both guys have a smaller profile. This is the fight people are overlooking. This has fight of the night potential for me. I think Lima looks very, very dangerous. And the thing is with knockout artists is they're knockout artists. It really, when people can hit hard, like you've spoken about before, it doesn't matter about the level of opponent.
It doesn't go.
It doesn't go. Like it matters that if your opponent has good defense or can get out of the way.
But McKenna can punch too.
But if I understand that, and if he just tried to stand there and punch, then he could be on the wrong side of an upset. McKenna's very good technically. Doesn't need to rely on punch power. Needs to use the punch power when the opportunity presents itself and not feel the pressure to make a statement, like I said before. So, I think this could be a potential upset, and I'm leaning towards Lima as well.
Okay, wow. So you're going Lima. Shane, you said you're going Lima.
I'm not saying I'm going Lima, but I wouldn't be surprised if that's where it went.
You're definitely going Lima.
Yeah.
So, you know what? I'm going to play devil's advocate. Actually, I'm not playing devil's advocate because I thought McKenna would win anyway. I think he's at that stage in his career where they're going to try and match him appropriately, if not carefully. And I think this fight falls into this category. Yes, you got Lima coming over here. He's got a very impressive record. But as Aaron McKenna said himself, who has he been fighting? Is it the Joe Fournier syndrome where he's got like 9 fights, 8 knockouts, and they're all in the Dominican Republic? Is it one of them? We will find out on Friday. I'm looking forward to that fight. Could be the sleeper, as you guys said. So, listen, man, this is going to be a good card, and we will be covering this card at your call on this Friday. We will have people there, and we'll be doing a watch-along in the studio. So make sure you come check that out. We spoke to Adam Azim, who was supposed to be headlining the card. He's got hand injury. And we saw that injury, and it is pretty bad. So we can see why he's out. We also spoke to his brother, who's fighting on the undercard. His brother hasn't fought for a while. He's very keen to get his career up, back and running again. He's not fought for a while, but he's fighting on the card on Friday. So make sure you check that out, people. We will be covering that card extensively. We're going to start early, right through. Looking forward to it. Some great fights. Make sure you check it out. Keep it locked on DR Sports Boxing. Like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you on Friday. We're out.